Hey folks, it's Alex the Real Mr. Robinson. Welcome to the channel. Sorry if I'm starting a little bit late. I just got back from seeing A Quiet Place Part 2, and I literally had to do all this setup last minute. But we're here. I figured it was just better to get this out the way right now than to just save it for next week. So we're just pulling off the Band-Aid. That is the Rise of Skywalker. Oh man, this movie. First, some house cleaning, as always. If you're watching this on YouTube and you subscribe to the channel, but you do not follow me on Twitch, that is twitch.tv/real Mr. Robinson. No the. I will soon be getting back to gaming, streaming games. Just wait one more weekend, and then by next week I should have a more reasonable and more consistent schedule. Yeah, with my review for A Quiet Place Part 2, Joey's movie blog, I will say this right now. I'm not going to go into too much detail about it, but I liked the first Quiet Place, didn't love it. I love the sequel. That's all I'll say until I give out my full review. But yeah, Twitch, my gaming streams will be back next weekend, hopefully. And I'm hoping my work gives me a more consistent schedule. But if you follow me on Twitch, but you do not subscribe to me on YouTube, that is youtube.com/The Real Mr. Robinson. It's my main hub of entertainment. Yeah, just earlier this morning, I did I put up my review for 1973's Robin Hood from Disney, and I also wanted to, I'll be putting up a review for Army of the Dead either tomorrow or Friday morning. I know I'm 2 weeks late with that movie, but I did record my review before the Memorial Day weekend so I could work on it later on. And that's about it. If you like what I'm doing on either channel and you want to help support financially, that is patreon.com/The Real Mr. Robinson, where you can support me for only $1 a month. But if you want access to exclusive content that no one else sees, you can pledge up to $3 or more. But if you can't do either, that's totally fine. Subscribing to me on YouTube or following me on Twitch is good enough. So yeah, let's just, before we jump into it also, I have one thing I want to point out. First of all, I want to welcome everyone who's in the chat, all the regulars, especially from yesterday. Isaac says, as someone who wasn't old enough to see The Phantom Menace in theaters, this was my Phantom Menace. I was so hyped to see this movie. I walked out massively disappointed. Yeah, well, I mean, as somebody who saw Phantom Menace in the theater, I mean, I was a kid, so I did love it. But there was a majority of people that were convincing themselves that they loved The Phantom Menace. And then as the years went by, they realized, oh, it's not very good at all. So at least you could see crap a mile away. But anyway, I want to read a quote here from one of the directors of the sequel trilogy. I'm not going to say who it is, but I want you to keep this quote in mind as we watch the movie. Here we go. For me, when I heard Obi-Wan say that the Force surrounds us and binds us all together, there was no judgment about who you were. This was something that we could all access. I really feel like the assumption that any character needs to have inherited a certain number of midichlorians or needs to be part of a bloodline, it's not that I don't believe it as part of the canon. Hang on. I'm just saying that at 11 years old, that wasn't where my heart was. And so I respect and adhere to the canon, but I also say that the Force has always seemed to be more inclusive and stronger than that. So I want you to keep that quote in mind as we go through the movie. And I will tell you, I mean, you guys can take a guess which director said that quote right there. And it'll be quite revealing as we watch the movie, and somewhat, yeah, I'll just leave it at that. And then I will give you guys another quote from the other director that kind of perfectly sums up these last two movies of the sequel trilogy. And without further ado, for the very last time in Star Wars, I am pushing the play button right now. Spiders Prime said, "Is it Lucas?" No, one of the two directors of the sequel of the movies of the sequel trilogy. So it's either J.J. Abrams or Rian Johnson. So I'm going into this with a bad attitude, but I'm gonna try to be positive about this one. It's gonna be tough, but I'm gonna give it my all. Okay, Razorbike says it's Rian Johnson. Anyway, I'll go through the crawl. Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker. The dead speak. The galaxy has heard a mysterious broadcast, a threat of revenge in the sinister voice of the late Emperor Palpatine. We didn't establish that. General Leia Organa dispatches secret agents to gather intelligence, while Rey, the last hope of the Jedi, trains for battle against the diabolical First Order. Meanwhile, Supreme Leader Kylo Ren rages in search of the Phantom Emperor, determined to destroy any threat to his power. Okay, so once again, Joey's movie blog says, I convinced myself this movie was great until I had to tried to watch it on 4K Blu-ray. I couldn't even finish it. Yeah, that's the thing. I saw this movie twice in theaters. First time was at the press screening on the Disney lot. The second time was opening night at City Walk. And I tried watching it a third time as, like, a family of mine had a screener for it, like a physical screener, and I tried watching it a third time at home, and it just didn't work. So I'm watching it on a Blu-ray that I'm just cracking open. This Blu-ray that I'm watching it on right now, I never watched it yet until now. Okay, one thing that I really like, I like that this is Mustafar. I mean, it doesn't look like the Mustafar that we knew from Revenge of the Sith, but it's been said that this Mustafar, this is Mustafar when it's healing itself. But I think that's pretty cool. Isaac said, the crawl was when I knew this wasn't going to be the movie that they promised. Swisher35 on Twitch, welcome. Do you believe that this movie destroys Anakin Skywalker's legacy? It's hard to say. The thing is, I dislike this movie strongly, but there are a lot of times where I just kind of forget this movie exists. So, as long as I forget about it, I think I'm okay. What was the point of redesigning Kylo Ren's TIE silencer to the TIE Whisper? It's the TIE Whisperer right now, but I always thought the TIE Silencer looked a lot cooler. Was there a reason to give his ship a different cockpit? I still love that crossguard lightsaber. By bringing Palpatine back. Yeah, I mean, because literally, if you want to go the route that Anakin Skywalker was the chosen one, once he redeemed himself, he was the chosen one and destroyed the Sith by throwing Palpatine off one of the endless pits of the Death Star. And then bringing Palpatine to life disgraces that thing. I don't know. Four Brothers Films. I don't think I ever saw you in the streams before, but welcome. He says on YouTube, this is where the fun begins. I don't think I saw the Screen Rant pitch meeting video for this. I know I saw the one for Cats. Yeah, this is so this is so stupid. Just Snoke being created in a pickle jar. I will admit, I do like Palpatine's creepy look where he kind of looks like a zombie with those black lips and those blank white eyes. It's pretty creepy. Also, I hate how like lazy the design department was when creating the Star Destroyers for the Final Order. Like they just literally took the designs of the Imperial Star Destroyers. I am already what my grandfather wasn't. I'm supreme leader of the First Order. I killed my master, so I'm gonna kill you. Like, literally, I thought that before How It Should Have Ended made that joke. And really, like, it's like Rian Johnson set up um, Kylo Ren to be the main villain, and then all of a sudden J.J. Abrams brings back Palpatine. It's like, no, he's the main villain. Like, come on. I do like how the previous year with Solo, we see Chewie like losing his shit over playing this game, and Beckett tries to teach him how to play, and then we cut to this movie where Chewie's now taking his time. Um, Now, is that supposed to be a planet or a base? Because that is a confusing shot right there. Oh yeah, R2 finally gets to do something a little bit. Not much. King Raiko on YouTube says, and now we finish the marathon with the high-budget amateur what-if fan film because the real Episode 9 was canceled due to the death of a key actor. No, Duel of the Fates wasn't canceled because of Carrie Fisher's passing. Because Colin Trevorrow wasn't fired, or he didn't leave Episode 9 until like half a year after her passing. And it was due to the usual creative differences. So the Emperor's theme is playing as the First Order TIE fighters are flying in. That doesn't make sense at all. Because the First Order should not know that Palpatine is alive at this point. Only Kylo Ren does. Watch it, Poe. Watch your flying. Yeah, kind of goes... I know it's a brief moment, but him bashing the Falcon against the side is kind of going against him being the best pilot in the galaxy. I do like how Finn is now an expert with the quad cannons. You know, here's the thing. If Rose was supposed to be a technician, or she said she works around pipes all day, why wasn't she the one helping repair the Falcon instead of that weird alien without any arms? Okay, no matter how much I dislike this movie, I'm always going to have fun with lightspeed skipping. Because it's such a creative concept. To build upon jumping to lightspeed from inside a hangar, making a landing approach at lightspeed, and then the Holdo maneuver from The Last Jedi. It's such a creative scene. I mean, lightspeed skipping can be a thing. Why if if we established all these other lightspeed techniques in if lightspeed tracking, making a landing approach to a planet at lightspeed can be a thing, why not lightspeed skipping? It's you could clearly tell that Carrie Fisher's not there, and I don't know. So they never actually say the name of this planet unless you played Battlefront 2, and it's Agent Kloss. I think I may have talked about this before, but kind of a dumb name for a planet, and I know there's a lot of goofy names in Star Wars. So I could see right now that y'all are really active in the comments. I apologize if I can't get to all of them because I'm also trying to focus on this and try to restrain my ranting. So why would he go back to trying to be like his grandfather? Like it baffles me. It really does baffle me when people say that The Last Jedi undid what The Force Awakens established. But this movie undoes literally everything that the last two movies did. Like, even this movie even disregards J.J. Abrams' own film, The Force Awakens. Isaac says, could Duel of the Fates have happened if Carrie Fisher were alive? Again, I don't think it was due to Carrie Fisher's passing as much as it was to do with that Colin Trevorrow and Lucasfilm had different ideas on what they wanted to do with Episode 9. King Raiko says, Abrams and Terrio Dragon Ball misused Rey's background, which made her more of a Luke ripoff than she ever was back in The Force Awakens. Yeah, it's earn Luke's Anakin's lightsaber. That line makes that line is an example of how it undoes the Force Awakens, because Maz Kanata said that the lightsaber called to Rey. Yeah? I still think it would have been cooler if, like in Duel of the Fates, she had a double-edged lightsaber. Considering that she fights well with a staff, her having a double-edged lightsaber would have been cooler. Yeah, this Tevya Smoka says on YouTube, but Anakin's saber was destroyed in The Last Jedi. It was, and so was Kylo Ren's helmet. But that's not going to stop J.J. Abrams from going back on those things. Here's oh, this line. I'm not convinced that that's Oscar Isaac reading any lines. I just think I'm convinced that that's more Oscar Isaac. I don't know. Like, everyone's made fun of that line. Somehow Palpatine returned. Like, you could tell, you could look in Oscar Isaac's eyes and see he does not want to be here. Pull the string. Okay, cool bit of detail. Maz Kanata, I think, is more pointless here than she is in The Last Jedi. No, he didn't, Rey. He went to the first Jedi temple to die. He didn't care about the world of the Sith or Sith wayfinders or whatnot. Joey's Movie Blog says, Oscar Isaac, I appreciate the gig, but who wrote this? The same guy that wrote, Find him! Save Martha! What the Korriban, was that ever established in the Clone Wars? Yeah, because apparently I'm not good enough to join you on this mission. Like, they did Rose dirty in this movie. So, why can't Rose and R2 go with them? Huh? Like, I mean, maybe I could get R2 because he's not as mobile as BB-8. But even then, it's just like, you couldn't have made room for R2 and Rose. Okay, that plant was established in the Clone Wars. Or more band. I mean, J.J. Abrams, like, if you actually read stuff about the production of The Last Jedi and The Force Awakens, Rian Johnson had a lot of conversations with the people responsible for Star Wars canon, and even Dave Filoni, whereas J.J. Abrams just kind of did his own thing. That's why they do something with Poe Dameron's character later on that wasn't established beforehand. See, I always thought, like, that's a chimpanzee fixing Kylo Ren's helmet. I always thought that was Caesar for some reason. Caesar with elf ears. I mean, I always thought Kylo Ren's helmet was cool, but I don't know. He can go without it. Useless ghouls. Tevian Smoka says, why did Kylo Ren even rebuild his helmet? That's a good question with an answer that J.J. Abrams delivered to promised to deliver, and he didn't do it. And you know what those alien chimps are called? Semiogs. Really? Is that true, King Raiko? See, there's a leader that actually gets shit done. And of course, we have to go to another goddamn desert planet. Huh? Like, can we just make a rule in Star Wars where we could never go to a desert planet for a long time? So when I saw the trailer, I thought that this was like a festival in celebration of Luke Skywalker's sacrifice on Crate and the hope that he gave the galaxy. But no, it's just a random festival that happens every 42 years. Why 42 years? Because this movie came out in 2019, literally 42 years after A New Hope was released. Isaac on YouTube says, why does everyone love Empire Strikes Back? Because there's no desert planets. Ray, none of your goddamn business. That's what my family name is. So it's suddenly nighttime. For what reason? Ray Solana. Yeah, they're still doing the Force connection, and it's daytime again. But I do like the new stuff that they do with I do like the new stuff that they do with the Force connection. It just one stormtrooper appeared out of nowhere. That is not Billy Dee Williams' voice. I know they manipulated it, but even then, it could sound like it. Why couldn't it have been a Sith holocron? This is the first time. This is the first time I've ever heard. This is the first time a character has said, "I have a bad feeling about this" in Star Wars, and this is the first. It's felt as forced as it does. I said this in my reviews, but this movie literally feels like playing a Star Wars video game, but you skip all the cutscenes. No substance at all. Like, nothing in terms of a good story. You just, like, we gotta get to the action super quickly. Lando, Razorbike says, Billy Dee Williams saves a lot of this movie for me. And then Isaac says, I wish Williams was used better in this film. Yeah, I would have liked it better if Lando wasn't in this movie. Ugh, that line. I hate that line. They fly now. Like, because it's... I mean, it's like, y'all never seen Imperial jet troopers or clone jet troopers? You never seen Mandalorians in action? Okay, so what line do you guys think has been made fun of more in this movie? Well, out of the two that we've seen so far, somehow Palpatine returned, or they fly now? This canyon chase is kind of fun, huh? I guess part of the reason I like it is because it's rare to see Star Wars vehicles that have wheels or run on treads. And this is why the Imperial speeder bikes work so much better. Nope, still have one more. I do kind of like how C-3PO gets a lot more to do in this movie than he did in the others, with the exception of A New Hope. um, this will be one of two Harry Potter, well, one of three, I guess, since at the end of June, I'll be moving to the Harry Potter films. See, that shot right there, I don't think that's I don't think that's Rose I think that's more Kelly Marie Tran just shaking her head at this awful script. Because if you ever watch, 2019 was the year where the Game of Thrones and the Rise of Skywalker cast just stopped giving a fuck. It's like they could not hide how much they disliked the finale to each. Okay, that's funny. That's kind of funny. So anyway, that sinking sand leaking into oh, but that's another thing. We will never hear what Finn wanted to say to Rey that he never got to say to her. By the way, that sinking sand that leads into an underground tunnel, that's like the those vines in Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. Domhnall Gleeson, who's in these last three movies. Domhnall Gleeson pops up as a Weasley in the last two Harry Potter movies. Oh, he's dead. Oh, here's the magic Deus Ex MacGuffin dagger. Oh, there. If you look at the I hate how they retcon like what Luke was determined to do. It's like, no, he didn't give a shit about Palpatine's return. Nobody knew about Palpatine's return. Like, is that a practical effect? Because it looks impressive if it is. Okay, so I'm going to tell you guys something right here. The force power that they show here. Yeah, that looks like a real effect. By the way, the force healing that Rey does here. Most of y'all probably saw this in The Mandalorian when Grogu healed Carl Weathers' character with his wound. I'm one of the few people that actually saw The Rise of Skywalker before that episode of The Mandalorian. So I'm sure most people were probably like, oh, it's that force power in The Mandalorian. Where I watched The Mandalorian episode and went, oh, hey, it's that force power from The Rise of Skywalker. Oh, how convenient that snake was. So ironic convenient that snake was blocking a pathway to the outside. God, the Knights of Ren are so goddamn useless. Um, King Riker said, on one hand, if the Force can levitate stuff, sense people, trick minds, absorb energy on some level, make astral projections, cast illusions, and conjure lightning, why not add healing to the list? Huh? Yeah, very much so. Spiders Prime says, well, Force healing did exist in the Legends stories. Turner Jenkins says, funny thing is I saw this before Mandalorian also. Yeah, but did you watch The Rise of Skywalker before that episode of The Mandalorian dropped? Because I did. Like, I saw The Rise of Skywalker before that episode of The Mandalorian was released on Disney Plus. Razorbike on YouTube says, I still have yet to watch The Mandalorian. If you were disappointed by this movie, or even the sequel trilogy as a whole, then The Mandalorian will definitely satisfy you. I think it's great. Which finale was worse, Rise of Skywalker or Game of Thrones Season 8, asks Isaac on YouTube. Y'all can answer this if you want to as well. I'm... Probably this. This is probably worse. Question, what was the point of the Knights of Ren? I don't know. I really don't know. Blast her, Ren. It's like, are you trying... I mean, I know he's not trying to kill Rey, but in any other situation, it's like, what's your plan right there? Are you trying to kill... What? I don't know. Oh, here's another thing. Rian Johnson in The Last Jedi was very... oh, he's dead. Like, you do not survive shit like that. Yeah, this, like, Rian Johnson was so set on not portraying the Force as a superpower. And even then, with Luke projecting himself on Crate, it was used as like a defense mechanism for the Resistance. This movie is like, no, the Force is a whole bunch of superpowers. Okay, two things. One, the second you saw Force lightning come out of her fingers, you probably guessed right off the bat what Rey's heritage, what J.J. Abrams decided to make Rey's heritage be. And two, you know they're not going to kill off Chewie in such an unceremonious way. Like, people would riot if J.J. Abrams actually followed through with that. Razorbike says Rey commits war crimes. I mean, let's not go into that Pandora's box, because if, like, there are YouTube videos that cover the Clone Wars season by season and list every single war crime that has been committed by both the heroes and the villains. So let's not open that can of worms. I would think you do need to learn force power, but considering Rey's genetic DNA, I don't know. King Raiko says, if they wanted Finn to be force sensitive, they should have had subtle hints to it earlier and done something with such a concept. Yeah, because, I mean, there was never any hint that Finn was... By the way, yeah, there was never any hint that Finn was force sensitive in The Force Awakens. So it's like, you can't blame Rian Johnson for not developing that idea when it wasn't even an idea in The Force Awakens. Boy, the Knights of Ren's ships sure pollute the space. Okay, I want to ask y'all something. How many of you actually remember D.O.? Or how many of y'all talk about D.O.? Because I feel like this is the most pointless droid creation ever. I mean, I do like the concept of a droid that was mistreated, and we're already on Kijimi, but, I don't know, there was no point to this droid. Razorbike said he's just in this to sell toys. Yeah, I buy that D.O. only exists to sell toys more than I do that the Porgs were made just to sell toys. Because yesterday I just told you guys that the Porgs were created because they had to take care of a puffin problem while filming The Last Jedi. You don't need to see identification. Isaac said, remember back when The Last Jedi took its time with character development? Good times. Good times. Such a waste of Keri Russell. Yeah, let's completely ignore the fact that Poe Dameron's parents were members of the Rebel Alliance. He was born sometime after the Battle of Endor and wanted to follow in his parents' footsteps. Let's just forget about that completely. She says as she's threatening her with a lightsaber. Of course, we have to have another cantina-style scene. And there's John Williams, bartender. Oh, Babu Frick is voiced by the same actress who plays Moaning Myrtle in Harry Potter. Yeah, people remember Babu Frick more than they do D.O. Who plays Zori again? Keri Russell. She was in the show The Americans. She was in Mission Impossible 3. She gets killed early on. She was in Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. If you've seen her, you probably recognize her. But too late for that. She was in Honey, We Blew Up the Kid? I've seen that movie a lot as a kid. I don't remember her in it. Well, now they're not because Luke Skywalker gave the galaxy hope. Or did y'all forget that? Why did nobody come to the Battle of Crate? First of all, Crate is spelled Crait. Second of all, nobody came to the Battle of Crate because the Resistance was the true underdog. And after the First Order destroyed the New Republic, they were just afraid to help out. Except the last war ended on Jakku, not Endor. Not only is he here, but... So I'm guessing The Last Jedi meant nothing in the long run from the very beginning. No, it's... No, it's only this movie that doesn't care about The Last Jedi. Because, again, this movie was made as a reaction to the toxic fan base that bitched nonstop about The Last Jedi. Yeah, there's something here. That's something Isaac said. The First Order feels so insignificant. Huh? Like once we get to the end of the movie, it's like it's the First Order doesn't even matter. You know, guys, stop asking questions because you're just gonna have too many of them that I'm never going to answer. But then again, some of these questions you ask might be rhetorical. So why do they not kill those stormtroopers? I guess to get info on where Chewie is. So do they kill the stormtroopers afterwards? Let Rey do her thing. Y'all got other priorities. I did just say stop questioning things, but that's more to you guys because I'd like to try to get to all your comments, but y'all are going so far. Y'all are so active in the chat more than usual. King Riker says, I'm not sure if Duel of the Fates would have been that much better of an alternate to this, but it seems Colin Trevorrow wanted to at least try to properly follow up on what Rian Johnson did. See, I think it would have been a significant improvement because Duel of the Fates sounded like a follow-up, like not only a proper follow-up to The Last Jedi, but an end to just the sequel trilogy. Yeah? Whereas one of the biggest problems with this movie is that it tries to be an end to not only the sequel trilogy, but all three trilogies, and it doesn't work. Oh, now we get to the part of the movie that I cringe at every time I watch it. I'm trying my best to hang on, folks, but it's gonna take all my willpower to keep watching. I'm sorry, but you did lie. If you, I gotta stop. I'm going to mentally crash if I keep this up. Like just pointing out everything that this movie retcons from the previous films. I do like the way this fight's choreographed, where it switches in between Kylo Ren's quarters and then Kijimi. It's a creative lightsaber duel. Apparently, how it goes is that Rey's father was a failed Palpatine clone. Or at least that's what's in, I guess, in the novelization or some of the extended lore. And I'm just like, every time this movie tries to explain every time explanations are given that the movie doesn't explain, it just makes it so much worse. Oh, now we're getting to the point that's the equivalent of the tornado scene in Man of Steel. That's not Oscar Isaac and John Boyega acting. That's them again. I think that's just the actors reacting to this terrible script. Yet it makes no sense for Poe Dameron to be the spy. It would be more interesting if again, like I suggested, the leadership of the First Order is so corrupt and so broken that Hux stages a coup against Kylo Ren, and that results in their downfall. I don't care what I said at this point. I don't know who was responsible for this, whether it's J.J. Abrams or Chris Terrio, but whoever wrote it must be going, this is our big Empire Strikes Back, I'm your father moment right here, where everyone's going to go, and instead everyone goes, and also the concept of a dyad in the Force is so stupid. Oh, by the way, that quote, y'all remember that quote I told you earlier in the review, earlier in this watch party, right? Where the Force was inclusive and meant more than just a specific bloodline. So I can't remember, who was it that said Rian Johnson said that quote? Huh? By the way, that quote is from J.J. Abrams in 2015. And yesterday I said that the first half of this movie feels like a remake of Episode 8, or J.J. Abrams wanted to do his own. I feel like that's where his Episode 8 would have ended. And just like that, General Hux is gone. Yes, Razorbyte, J.J. Abrams said that. the last part of that quote is, but I also say that the Force has always seemed to me to be more inclusive and stronger than that. And then later on, he decides to make Rey a Palpatine after Rian Johnson firmly established that her parents were nobodies. And that, oh no, the most important people in the galaxy are the Skywalkers and the Palpatines. Again, this makes no sense that there's Endor, or the forest moon of Endor that they just passed. It literally makes no sense how they make Kylo Ren the main villain at the end of episode 8. And then it's like, he's clearly set up to be the main villain for this movie, and then nope, he's now doing Palpatine's bidding. There's the wreckage of the Death Star, which probably shouldn't exist. This, I gotta say this. Y'all are kind of shocked that J.J. Abrams said that. I have always liked J.J. Abrams. I really love Mission Impossible 3. I'm sorry. Like, every time I try to say something, the movie will distract me with something so blindingly stupid, like the dagger thing. Like, are you kidding me with this? How? How do you know that? There's a different breed of space horses. So this movie takes place within less than a day. See, here's something that was actually within. Hello there, Nick on Twitch. Welcome. Daiquiri Holder says, "Did Babu Frick really say that Rey was the last hope?" Yeah. By the way, this is something that was in an idea from Colin Trevorrow's script where Finn leads a stormtrooper rebellion. And this is a great thing. It's like, okay, Finn Finn has found other stormtroopers that have defected. They're just like him. And then they do nothing with it. It's like, yeah, yeah, here's a great concept for Finn and his story. And we'll do nothing with it. Because we have to see Rey just being impatient as hell. Um, so this section was turned into another Star Tours destination. I haven't been to Disneyland since they updated Star Tours for Episode 9. Okay, you know what? I said in my original reviews, I said I like the banter between these characters. I don't anymore. Like, it's fucking annoying. Updating Star Tours to Episode 9 was a mistake. No, not really. Because you still visit sections from the original trilogy, the prequel trilogy, and the sequel trilogy. So it's fun to randomize Star Tours, and it's fun to like go on Star Tours and be surprised on where you go. King Reco says on YouTube, a bunch of people want the whole sequel trilogy to be denounced as legend material. I only want this film to be denounced as legend material. I agree. So, like, in the background, we saw some damaged TIE fighters. There's some old stormtrooper helmets. There's the Emperor's throne room. You can tell because they're literally... Yeah, the Emperor's throne room, because they're literally pulling music from Vader's unmasking scene in Return of the Jedi. And there's a door right next to the Emperor's throne that never was there in Return of the Jedi. See, Dacry, I like Attack of the Clones more than this. Not by much, but... and maybe nostalgia plays into why I prefer Attack of the Clones to this. And even then, as bad as the dialogue is in Attack of the Clones, you can at least make fun of it. It's at least memorable. So bad it's memorable. This is just so bad that it's bad. There's the Sith holocron. I mean, Wayfinder. Yeah, again, that door never existed in Return of the Jedi. Give it here. King Riker says, at least Attack of the Clones was a serviceable multimedia launch pad. Yeah. And this just crapped on everything we love. It is cool. I like how Kylo Ren, until now, was just dodging Rey's attacks. It's trying to be sentimental, but because you can tell Carrie Fisher's not there, and that she's just looking off into a blank void. But yeah, thanks for telling us that, Maz, because you clearly think the audience is too stupid to figure that out later on. By the way, J.J. Abrams promised that this was going to be like the most epic lightsaber duel you've ever seen. What would y'all rather watch? This or the admittedly very long, too long and over-the-top lightsaber duel in Revenge of the Sith? Because my money's on Sith. I think one of the reasons why this isn't really all that epic is because there's no John Williams. I guess John Williams called out sick for this scene. Yeah, again, I'm not denying that Obi-Wan Griffin versus Chicken Skywalker, says King Ryko. That's funny. It's the robot chicken of the giant chicken of lightsaber duels. Oh, as I was saying, okay, now John Williams is back in the fray. And considering how much this movie is just a series of homages to the original trilogy, I was really expecting one of them to lose a hand. And I'm actually surprised it didn't happen. But anyway, as I was saying, remember in The Last Jedi when Leia said, deep down, I know my son's really gone. Like, she accepted that Ben Solo is gone forever. And then, this happens. This coming up. It's like, wait, you mean you could have done this the whole time? Why is she holding a medal? I'm asking questions. And then this is insulting because it gives us the impression that Rey killed Leia, Like, it wasn't Leia giving up all her energy to redeem her son. It comes across more like if there was ever, it comes more like Rey accidentally killed Leia. And if there was any reason that I'm sad, that scene holds emotional weight, it's that R2 is sad. There you go, all fixed. No consequences. I mean, okay, with Leia, I really don't know what they could have done with her. It's it's really, it was unfortunate that Carrie Fisher passed away, but I kind of feel like whatever decision they made with Leia, whether it was recasting her, killing her off screen, or doing this, using archived footage from The Force Awakens, I felt like it would have been a lose-lose situation, and nobody would have been in agreement on. I don't know. And it's like I want to feel emotional. I want to feel an emotional impact for Leia's passing, but it just felt so contrived and forced. Like, if I'm ever sad about Leia's death in this movie, it's because of R2 and Chewie's reactions. This scene. A lot of people love this scene. For some reason, I don't. Yeah, now all the Skywalkers are dead, and so is the dad, Han Solo. It's like y'all couldn't have shaved Harrison Ford before, you couldn't bother to get Harrison Ford to shave his beard before doing this. God, this movie is how far are we into this? An hour and 26 minutes. This movie is so much worse than I remember. Like I get it's supposed to be a mirror of the confrontation in The Force Awakens, but it's just I don't know. I do not think Kylo Ren, because I'm going to keep calling him Kylo Ren. I do not think he should have been redeemed. They set him up to be the main villain in The Last Jedi to a point where he was a lost cause. And then General Grievous pops up out of nowhere and jumps into the ocean to grab that lightsaber to add to his collection. And in this moment, all of a sudden, the First Order means nothing. Like, now it's all about the Sith fleet. And look, it's like, we already have a Star Destroyer. Rian Johnson already made a fleet of Star Destroyers that have these guns at the bottom. And it's more interesting than creating another mini... like, this is pretty much... Like, all these Star Destroyers are pretty much the Death Star 4. Like, come on, J.J. Abrams. Again, I'm convinced that's just Oscar Isaac not giving a shit about what's going on. So wait, can that guy speak Sith? Why'd y'all need 3PO? I don't. I'm trying to contain my rage, but I know the Octu sequence is coming up, and that's the moment in the movie that more than anything, I despise. Oh, this scene. It's ironic that in The Last Jedi, I love everything on Octu, but when we get to the Rise of Skywalker, I hate everything on Octu. Not enough porgs. This movie needs more porgs. You know, I'm not going to question how a Force Ghost can grab a physical object, because it's fantasy. I don't care right there. That line, "A Jedi's weapon deserves more respect," that sounds like a backhanded compliment towards the last movie. Now, the line where Luke says, "I was wrong, it's fear that kept me here," that I don't have a problem with, because Luke eventually came around and brought hope to the galaxy, or at least we hoped that he brought hope to the galaxy. This moment, it's like, I hate how this sequence is just a whole, like, in The Last Jedi, Luke asks Rey who she is and where she comes from, and then this movie, oh yeah, I knew you were Palpatine the whole time. Leia knew you were Palpatine too. That's why she left you her lightsaber. Wait, she sensed the death of her son at the end of her Jedi path, but he ends up dying anyway. Oh, there's actually, you can actually find, King Raiko, you can actually find the Duel of the Fates opening crawl. People have made fan opening crawls of it. On YouTube, based on the script. You can actually find it. And then this moment. Like, Luke's... Calm down. It's just a movie. Do not fall into the trap of the... Do not fall into the trap, Alexander. I can't do it. That's Yoda's theme. Yoda's theme should not be playing at this moment. It's literally there to recreate, like, just because, hey, remember when Yoda lifted Luke's X-Wing out of the ocean? Yes, Luke's X-Wing was destroyed. He used part of the X-Wing as a door on his cabin. So yeah, remember that big emotional point when, where 3PO would lose his memory? Yeah, forget about that. Man, I wish I could be in 3PO's position where I just forget most of this movie. Anyway, someone asked, who was it? King Reiko says, I'm bored because this movie makes me so depressed. It does. This is a depressing movie. By the way, someone asked, I thought the Wayfinder was destroyed. No, Kylo Ren destroyed, there were two Sith Wayfinders. The one that Rey recovered at the wreckage of the Death Star was what got destroyed. The Wayfinder that Rey has is the one that Kylo Ren found on Mustafar at the beginning of the movie. And why did they give Billy Lord Leia's hairstyling from Return of the Jedi? Like, couldn't they give her an original hairstyling like what they did in The Last Jedi? I don't know what ship that is, but we never see it again. There goes the Tantive 4. That's a pretty small fleet, huh? It still baffles me that some people say that this is the best movie of the prequel trilogy. Some even say that this is the best Star Wars movie. It's like, that's ridiculous. You know, here's a quote that somebody said. I don't remember who it was, but it kind of fits this movie, and it fits this movie and The Last Jedi perfectly. Yeah, Rian Johnson is a fan of Star Wars, as in all of Star Wars. J.J. Abrams is just a fan of the movie Star Wars. I do like how, even if it's not much, how R2D2 is Poe Dameron's astromech this time. This should have been an amazing sequence because I'm a sucker for some good Star Wars dogfighting, but this just feels hollow and empty. But there goes a B-Wing. Well, blast it. Don't send ground crew after it. Blast it. Like, I really am trying my damnedest to stick with this. Razorbike says, it's funny, The Last Jedi was so much better than I remember, but this is so much worse. That kind of reinforces my statement on how The Last Jedi is going to live on as one of the better Star Wars movies, and this is going to be fighting with Attack of the Clones and the Clone Wars as the worst. Anyone remember the Yuuzhan Vong? Yeah, I do. I do remember that. That never was... That's no longer canon. Or maybe, you know, rather than making Finn force sensitive, it would have been better. It's like, hey, I know the ins and outs of the First Order. logically, that's where the signal will be coming from. Too bad there's no Fadirs. Again, it's a bunch of Sith troopers. The First Order is no longer relevant anymore, which is a damn shame. Isaac says, I'll give the movie this. The final battle is visually cool. I guess in the same way an action scene in Transformers is visually cool. And I hate to compare this to Michael Bay's Transformers, but it's like... there's so much going on visually that you feel numb and it doesn't mean anything. And then where did this giant arena come from? I think it's absolutely hilarious. Like, this is trying to be a threatening scene, but it's hilarious that Palpatine is just propped up on some giant crane. Who are those people in the stands? I don't know. I have no idea why he's on a crane, but it's so distracting. Like this, people say this is fan fiction of Star Wars. I feel like if you just replace the characters with the characters from Spaceballs and made this Spaceballs 2, nobody would have noticed the difference. It would pass. It passes more as a parody than a fan fiction. But then again, a lot of Star Wars fan fiction from the Fandom Menace is parody anyway. I just really love how what was I going? Oh, there was something I was going to say earlier in the watch party. But Tiffany Smith, who's an entertainment host, you might have seen her on Fandango, DC Universe. You've seen her around, but she used to be on the Schmoes Know, like a while ago. But she was interviewing the cast of this movie at Galaxy's Edge at Disneyland, and she asked the crew, "Give us your reactions without saying anything of the finale to this movie." And the reactions that they gave was just so telling of, oh shit, this is not going to be good. And look, God bless Tiffany, but like, please don't ask questions like that. Now, wouldn't have this, with the choir and the chorus, wouldn't that have been a great moment to play the opening to Duel of the Fates? Again, jetpacks are so useless in Star Wars. Yeah, tell that to the Mandalorians. Oh, Christian Harloff. Yeah, look, I mean, look, I've met Christian Harloff a handful of times, and yeah, that was just like a bad. I don't know. That moment was not a good look for him at all. But and he probably should have controlled himself in that instance of throwing a fit about not being invited to Galaxy's Edge for press reasons. But it's like I kind of get it. I get kind of jealous when people get invited to press events at either movies or places that I want to see or go to. So I mean, yeah, he goofed up right there, but I mean, I've met Christian Harloff several times. He's a really cool guy. It's just we all have those moments, and we don't look back on those moments fondly. So Kylo Ren, Ben, or whatever he is, whatever you call him now, I guess Ben Solo. Yeah, Ben Solo's here. How did he get here? With an Imperial TIE fighter that managed to still work in the second Death Star after 31 years and has no hyperdrive. Think about that. How did he get to Exegol from that planet in the Endor system when it doesn't even have a hyperdrive? The First Order TIE fighters have hyperdrives, but not the Imperials. Rose, go save Finn. Please do something useful in this movie. Hello, Right Guy 2015. Things are going as well as it could go. Didn't he need a wayfinder? He probably did, but I don't know. Then the Knights of Ren pop up. It's like they recognize him. Wouldn't they? I mean, if Kylo Ren did not repair his helmet with the Knights of Ren surrounding him, and then he just invited them back after he repaired his helmet, that would have made more sense. But it's like, why would the Knights of Ren suddenly turn on him if they recognize him? That makes no sense. I don't. Oh, this movie makes me so angry, and I'm trying not. It's like I'm trying to just. I'm trying to put this movie aside. I don't want to fall to the dark side and become like all those other toxic Star Wars fans. King Riker says, a blink and you'll miss it line suggests that cloning brought Palpatine back, while the novelization suggests he transferred his soul before his death in Return of the Jedi. Yeah. Whichever reason it is, it's stupid, because, like, cloning Palpatine was something that was in the EU, and even in the EU, that was stupid. Razorback says, I really respect that from you, Alex. You're doing a lot better than I am. Of not trying to be angry. Like, it's tough. It's really tough to, because yesterday I was so passionate about The Last Jedi, talking about everything that I loved, while pointing out the things that I don't think work. In this movie, I'm just like, I'm trying to focus on the stuff that I like, but I can't, because because there's so much terrible shit. I might be okay. I'm not gonna turn to the dark side and become one of those toxic douchebag fanboys, but I'm starting to prefer the Clone Wars movie to this. Like, this is a rough watch. This really is a parody. No, there goes Porkins 2.0. So yeah, we're redoing the ending to The Last Jedi, which this moment this is trying to be the big like endgame portals moment of Star Wars, but it doesn't work for two reasons. Um, the main reason is that the galaxy is not rallying to Exegol because they were inspired by Luke's actions on Crate. No, they all came to Exegol because Lando just made a few calls, because everyone in the galaxy knows Lando apparently, yeah? Wedge had no reason to be there, and Dennis Lawson looked so bored. I've never seen someone cameo in a movie and look that bored doing it. But anyway, the second reason why this big thing doesn't work, the reason why this doesn't work is because it's like this was spoiled in the trailer. Like we saw that shot of the Falcon in front of a whole bunch of starships. So we knew it was coming. There's no suspense. And there's no sense of excitement like what Avengers Endgame did, where it's like when you see the portals open up and when you see the portals up and you see all those heroes walking out, you get a sense of excitement. It delivered. And this is just so, at this point you're just like, just end this already. And there he goes into a hole. So is the Force a superpower? I don't know, because George Lucas and Rian Johnson say it's not, but J.J. Abrams says it is. Like, really, that sequence where, like, Palpatine just shoots the most powerful Force lightning into space, that is some straight-up fan fiction shit. Oh, by the way, Ninum's in the Tantive 4. He's dead. J.J. Abrams and Chris Terrio even confirmed that Ninub died. So what a way to, like, at least Akbar got a mention that he died in The Last Jedi. Ninub got nothing. Nine Num. Lando's co-pilot in Return of the Jedi, yeah? I did like... I did like how they slipped in Ahsoka Tano. But at the same time, that kind of establishes that at this point... it kind of establishes that at this point in the timeline, Ahsoka is dead and one with the Force. Isaac says, you know what would have been cooler than hearing the Jedi voices? Seeing the Jedi helping Rey fight Palpatine. Well, there are fan edits where all the Force Ghosts come together and just stand behind Rey as this is going on. And that was even a concept that... There's concept art for Duel of the Fates where they do that same thing for... during Rey and Kylo Ren's final battle on Mortis. Yeah, that was supposed to be the big I am Iron Man moment from Endgame, but again, it doesn't work. And it's like, oh, you just need 2 lightsabers to do this. Now, on one hand, I do respect that that Palpatine died at his own hands again. Or not again. Yeah, Palpatine died at his own hands, and Rey was defending herself. But, again, where did all those spectators come from? Makes no sense. Boom. You can't fit them in your X-Wing, Poe. And plus, the Falcon has more room, Poe. Think. Isaac said, should we try pooling our money together and make Duel of the Fates a real movie? No. But I hope interdimensional travel exists, because I know there's a parallel universe somewhere where Duel of the Fates exists. And I want to see that. I would like to see that movie, but alas, I know it's never going to happen. Like, seeing Duel of the Fates actually happen is more of a fanboy pipe dream than the Snyder Cut. But then again, seeing then again seeing I feel like you'd be better off seeing some version of Duel of the Fates than sequels to Justice League. He lives. You know, as much as I was not fond of this movie, this point here, it's like, you know what? If J.J. Abrams actually killed Rey, that would be bold. Like, that would have been a really bold move. yeah, Duel of the Fates is never going to be made into a movie. Yeah? And I doubt Disney would entertain the idea of turning it into a comic or even an animated film. But yeah, everything I hear from Duel of the Fates, again, there's no way of knowing if it would have been a good movie. But just based on what I read, it sounds so much better than this. Okay, so I'm trying to Reylo. Let's talk about Reylo for a second because this was the moment that made Reylo canon. Um, I'm trying to understand what exactly it is because so many people that I know who are live or die Reylo fans hate this movie. Yeah, yeah, this is the movie that made Reylo canon. Like, what? I don't know. I don't understand it. I don't think I ever want to understand it. And at that point, it's like, oh, okay, J.J. Abrams, you could have had Rey stay dead, and that would have been bold, just to kill the main hero. But no, you just proved to us that there are no consequences in this movie at all. Huh? Absolutely no consequences whatsoever. And then to have them kiss doesn't make any sense at all. Um, like, what? Again, I think that was just there for fan fiction. I'm sorry, that was not the intended response. Um, Even when I saw this movie opening night after the press screening, when Ben Solo just falls over and just suddenly dies, there was a woman who was laughing hard at that moment. And it's like, yeah, I don't blame you. Oh, you know what? Oscar Isaac. Isaac in the YouTube chat says, you know what's a better Star Wars finale? Yes, anything. But the Lego Holiday Special actually felt like a pretty good finale to the saga. You know what the funny thing about the Lego Holiday Special was? It has Rey facing Palpatine again, but they never once acknowledge that they're related. It's almost like the people making the Lego Holiday Special knew that having Rey and Palpatine be related was stupid, so they didn't want to acknowledge it at all. So yeah, then what happens to the rest of the First Order? Well, off screen, we get to see them be destroyed at Bespin on Endor, where someone performs the Holdo maneuver, and Wicket the Ewok watches. And a First Order Star Destroyer falls over Jakku. There's the Twilight in the background from Star Wars Rebels. Well, at least Marie Tran got to hug Chewbacca, so... I mean, she got that. Again, such a waste of Keri Russell. Someone who I always found to be talented. That's funny, though. I like that. There you go, folks. There's your gay Star Wars moment right there. completely glossed over. Why did Chewie get a medal? Because fans have been making jokes for years that Chewbacca never got a medal during the Yavin throne room ceremony. And that's it. How much of the Rise of Skywalker did the Lego Holiday Special acknowledge? Well, it acknowledged that the fact that the First Order is gone. It acknowledged the fact that Rey has a new lightsaber. It acknowledged the fact that Finn is Force sensitive and that Rey is going to try to train him. So it acknowledged some stuff, but it made sure not to acknowledge the worst stuff. Like this shit right here. Where they're playing Luke and Leia's theme. A theme that is so special to those two characters. To two characters that might potentially be father and daughter, but because J.J. Abrams wants to do his little mystery boxes, he doesn't actually say. Like, I hate that. I hate how out of place these themes are. Some of these old Star Wars themes are placed. And it might not even be John Williams' fault. It could be the fault of whoever was doing the music editing. Did the holiday special retcon this movie? I don't think it did. But it certainly doesn't draw attention to it. And that should have been an appropriate place to end. But no, we got to go back to Tatooine. So this sequence doesn't make any sense for Rey's character. This only makes sense for the fans. I still like how Rey has that innocence of sliding down sand on a makeshift sled. But yeah, this scene doesn't make sense because, again, Rey's never been to Tatooine. She doesn't know what this place means to her. This place doesn't mean anything to her. I know people have made the memes. King Raiko said it best. And Anakin rolls in his Force grave. He sees his lightsabers being buried in the sand, and he goes, "I hate you." And then Rey gets her own lightsaber, but she doesn't use it. She should have had her own lightsaber from the beginning. Rey, none of your goddamn business. That's who I am. And then this shot of Luke and Leia looking on at her is so awkward. You know, out of all the things that people have hated about this movie, I don't like the Rey Skywalker line, but fuck it, this movie's over. Oh my god, that was so... Ugh. And Chris Terrio gets top billing. You know, if I was Colin Trevorrow and Derek Connolly, I would have said... you know what? Just take our names off off the story credit. We don't want story credit for this movie. But that was rough. Hey, Mary and Brandon. Okay, so at least she got to edit this movie again. I mean, at least she got paid, so there was that. Isaac says, you know what? We were given a finale. It's called The Last Jedi. Yeah, that is my finale to the Star Wars Skywalker saga. And the rest, it's like, for me, it's like the ending. The Last Jedi should be the ending. It's for me, it's like the ending to the Gamera trilogy. It's like, for me, it's like Gamera 3 and The Dark Knight, where those movies clearly were open-ended to where a sequel can happen, but they probably shouldn't. Yeah, this movie really... I like the Clone Wars movie better than this. I really do. I'm not trying to troll people. I firmly believe that. Anyway, that quote that I gave you guys earlier from J.J. Abrams. Here's the quote. I said I'd be giving you guys another quote. But from the other director of the sequel trilogy, Rian Johnson. I mean, the Clone Wars movie is terrible, but it doesn't anger me the way this does. Anyway, here's the quote from Rian Johnson on what he feels about Star Wars. For me, The Last Jedi 100% distills what the spirit and heart of Star Wars has been in my life. But yes, it is personal. It's a certain point of view, and it has to be. Originals were personal for George Lucas. That's why they are alive. Star Wars films will truly betray the heart and spirit of the originals if they lose that, and become soulless, clean homages. But being alive means being messy, and it means every film won't line up. Well, the rest of this quote here is him responding to a fan. I'll just read it here. But being alive means being messy, and it means every film won't line up exactly with what every fan is expecting or wants. I'm sorry The Last Jedi didn't line up with your own certain point of view. Really, honestly, I am. May the Force be with you. See, that's a great way to respond to, like, a negative fan. It's like Rian Johnson was classy about it, but he also listed something that really hits home with Star Wars and what I want to see from the franchise. It's like The Last Jedi does new stuff, but it also maintains the spirit of Star Wars in a way to where it's fresh and interesting. As bad as the prequels can be, they do different things. They gave an entire generation, my generation, a whole new idea of what Star Wars could be. And it's like you can appreciate them for that. I still love The Force Awakens. I still really dig that movie a bit, but this movie really is the pinnacle of lazy storytelling and just everything that is wrong with Star Wars. Can't wait for you to do the after stream report on Twitter. Okay, well, you know, I'm going to do that right now. You guys are going to do this watch this live on the air. Oh, fuck it. I'll do it later. Whew. But yeah, that's, No, No, it's not even like the video games and other media from the prequels. It's just like, even though the way those movies were told in terms of the story were bad, they at least brought up new concepts. They did new things. They took us to new places, and they were just more original. So for the whole time, everyone was saying, this feels nothing like Star Wars. It kind of does, because it pushes boundaries. It does new things. This is just, as Rian Johnson puts it, a soulless, clean homage. And it just... And you know what? This movie really does bum me. Like, it's not... I can let it go. It's not going to make me angry, because I know I could just, like, forget that this movie exists. And most of the time, I actually do forget that this movie exists. So I don't have this ridiculously I don't ridiculously hate this movie like so many people do The Last Jedi. But this movie certainly bums me out. It's one of those movies that, when I think about it, it doesn't make me angry, because it just leaves me too depressed to be angry. So, yeah, I'll wrap this up right here. Not the best way to end this series of watch parties, but thank you all for joining me, and thank you for so no burn in hell, says Razorbike. No, it is a burn in hell, but it's normally I save that rating for a movie that does make me angry, but this movie does leave me so emotionally drained that it's a different type of, like, burn in hell. So yeah, this movie sucks. If I had an opportunity to redo my you know what, even if I had an opportunity to redo my worst of the decade list, this probably would not have made the cut, but it certainly would have made the cut for my least favorite movies of 2019. But yeah, that's The Rise of Skywalker. I will never watch this movie again. Like, the best thing I could do is just, like, forget about it and move on with my life. And that's exactly what we're going to do, because let me check the date on when I'm planning to start the Harry Potter watch parties, because I'm not doing those right away. Let me see. Here we go. My list. Okay, the Harry Potter watch party will start June 22nd. But I am planning to do, after I did the Godzilla and the MCU watch parties, I said that any future installment... Wait, Lin-Manuel Miranda wrote a song in this movie? Oh, wow. Okay. Anyway, as I was saying, after I did the Godzilla and MCU watch party, I said that any future installments to both series, and I guess you can include the MonsterVerse since I did Kong Skull Island, I would be doing. So on June 15th, when Godzilla vs. Kong comes out on Blu-ray, bad robot indeed, and that robot is J.J. Abrams. I mean, I can't be mad at J.J. Abrams because he made one god-awful movie. I still love Mission Impossible. I still love his reboot of Star Trek, and I still love The Force Awakens, so I can't stay mad at him forever. But anyway, June 15th will be Godzilla vs. Kong, and then June 22nd we'll be starting the Harry Potter watch parties. And then after that, anything that is not Godzilla or MCU related, I'll only be doing watch parties exclusively on Twitch, and that won't happen until I reach a certain goal on Patreon. So I'll just do the recap right here. Thank you all for joining me. If you
follow me on YouTube, if you subscribe to me on YouTube, but you do not follow me on Twitch, that is twitch.tv/RealMrRobinson. I'll be getting back into the weekend streamings with video games starting next weekend, hopefully. And my schedule, once I get a more proper schedule and a more consistent schedule, I'll only be streaming every Sunday, Tuesday, and Saturday, because with Thursdays, movie theaters are opening up again, and I have to use Thursday evenings to see new releases. But just hang in there a little longer, folks, because the games will be back. If you follow me on Twitch, but you do not subscribe to me on YouTube, that is youtube.com/TheRealMrRobinson, which is my main hub of entertainment, movie reviews, and other things like TV show reviews and theme park videos. If you like what I'm doing with either channel and you want to help support financially, that is patreon.com/TheRealMrRobinson. For $1 a month, you can help support the channel. But if you want access to exclusive content that no one else gets to see, you can pledge $3 or more. But if you can't help financially, can't do either, that's fine. Just subscribing to me on YouTube and following me on Twitch is good enough. So, thank you guys for tuning in. We are done with Star Wars. Ended on a very, very, very sour note. But I'm still optimistic about the future of Star Wars content. This movie, as King Ryko said, this movie can die, but I will still love Star Wars. But yeah, thank you all for joining in. Until next time, this is The Real Mr. Robinson telling you there's only one. May the Force be with you.